Hey there, welcome back to this week's episode of the C-Town Podcast, where Seattle business owners, entrepreneurs, and community leaders are invited on to share their stories with us. I'm your host, Christian Harris. This week's episode of the C-Town Podcast is brought to you by C-Town Real Estate. Their mission to make a difference extends beyond just their unique and unconventional approach with their clients and their agents. They partner with the community to give back a percentage of the proceeds from each home sale to a local nonprofit of their client's choice. Visit ctown.com, sea-town.com, and experience the difference with C-Town Real Estate today. Welcome back to another episode of the C-Town Podcast. Today I'm joined by Joe Jeannot of famed, unofficial mayor of Seattle. Also the founder of the West Seattle Supper Club and the now annual West Seattle Beer and Music Festival. Thanks for joining me today, Joe.
Oh, man. Thank you, brother. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
So maybe tell our listeners a little bit about how you got into, kind of creating local community events and, your reputation as the mayor of Seattle.
Yeah. Good question. Basically, born and raised in Seattle, always been a social person, and little by little I just started gathering small events. We started with a little bit of a soul fest on Capitol Hill, which was a sort of a beginning of a music and food and family program, and that grew over years up to about 500-600 people. And I sort of enjoy getting folks together, gathering them, getting down with some good music and food, and I felt like West Seattle was in the perfect spot to sort of start engaging with some West Seattle Supper Club events, launching big beer festivals, and sort of taking the neighborhood to another level, possibly.
Sure. Okay. Now we were introduced through mutual friends.
Mm-hmm.
With this podcast and stuff. People are like, "Do you know Joe? You need to meet Joe. You guys could do some real damage together."
We sure could.
And so that's been a lot of fun, kind of getting to know you, these last couple of months. And planning some events together. Do you want to let our guests know? By the time this drops, we'll have just announced some pretty big news. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, Christian. What we're going to come up with, you, myself, and your partner, we're working together to launch a Rooftop series. We're going to put we found two little apartment buildings where we thought we'd have a great sort of sunset social. I've always felt like watching the sunset, drinking some rosé, and hanging out with your friends is a great meeting place, great social spot, and so. We're going to launch that up here next week. It's going to happen in June, our first spot, the June 29th location. It will be our first series. We're bringing in a chef to cook up some food. We're going to bring in some local breweries and wineries to sample and taste, and also gather and enjoy the sunset on top of Oregon 42's apartment building.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun.
It is.
This year we're kind of starting off, slow, but we're kind of making it an annual thing, right?
Yes, I think there's room. West Seattle, not just West Seattle, but many spots in Seattle now have rooftop environments, and I feel like there's a lot of folks out there looking for something different, something special, and also something homey. It's like in their backyard, in their building, and I think we have the resources to make that happen.
Sure, it's going to be pretty cool. What a lot of people, as we're kind of spreading the preliminary word, asking what's the big idea with it? Why these rooftop events?
Well, I just felt like there was something different with the rooftop. You don't see it too often. A lot of rooftop parties are big back east, and I felt that now that these new buildings are being built in Seattle with this sort of rooftop environment, I thought, why not? That's sort of like I felt a window of opportunity. And then, of course, getting some good partners like C-Town Real Estate to come together and all sort of help us sort of put a package together that could be fun, that many people in neighborhoods around the city would like. And there it is.
Sure.
Yeah.
I like it. It's West Seattle for a while has had kind of this reputation. It's kind of a sleepy community. After 8 o'clock, it kind of dies.
Sure.
It's kind of fun being able to provide some, especially with a lot of the new, and younger people moving into the area, some opportunity for events and bringing the community together, having some fun. And the part I really like about this, is not only focusing on good food, good people and drink, but also for a purpose of making an impact,
right?
Partnering with some nonprofits to
and that's the big thing. I think the awareness of nonprofits is going to be really fun, because I think that what you guys have done and sort of introduced to myself was, hey, we can do some smaller events where a nonprofit can just create some good awareness, tell some stories, tell a bit about what they're doing. Because I think a lot of people don't put enough time into hearing what's going on in the areas. And West Seattle Helpline, we're having Delridge.
Yep, the Delridge neighborhood development.
Those are going to be great stories. And and within that whole party thing, we can have a great message, and give balance to and equity of what we're doing in the neighborhood. think it's been nice.
Yeah, for sure. Now, for you, I mean, your roots in Seattle's restaurant scene run pretty deep. What's kind of your background in that has led to these different skill sets for these different?
I've always wanted to be a restaurant guy. I think since 7th grade, Christian, I was sort of like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. Going to Washington State University, studying hotel restaurant program. That was fun. I thought, let's see what happens after this. And I got a job with FX McCory's back when I was young. And then that festered into becoming this sort of cool bartender on the scene back in the late 80s. And then I went to open Teeny Biggs and Adriatica and Toulouse Petite and Axes. And I sort of got blessed. I was sort of in the hotbed of this sort of .com restaurant push of Seattle. Belltown was exploding. And so I was in that scene, and ever since then, I've just sort of been within the sort of hospitality restaurant scene, which I really enjoy. And that's sort of taken another steps to pushing this whole events and social media side to it, because I had the connections and the people I could use to pull off these events.
Sure. Some of the more recent events that you've been helping organize. With the West Seattle Beer and Music Festival and this Rooftop series are obviously a little larger to open it up to more of the community. But it seems like a lot of your passion is in the West Seattle Supper Club that you helped found. What's the backstory of that? What is that?
Supper clubs. The West Seattle Supper Club was an interesting story. Just my close friends Tim and Denise. We've always had great little small socials, and so I just sort of pitched to them one night when we're having a glass of wine, like, why don't we have a little supper club? Why don't we just start doing these cool events, advertising it, getting people to get a part of it, and putting on some great dinner and wine socials. So we launched a great party at Ricolto, had about 50 people show up, and it was the beginning, because that really told me that the consumer loved the part of buying a ticket. Everything is all-inclusive, getting to meet new people in West Seattle, and also be around a cool environment with good food and good drink. And now we're doing patio parties with wineries. We're doing a street event with the Supper Club. It's expanding, and more neighborhoods have been asking about, hey, how do we get our own? And we've been talking, and there's more coming with the Supper Club, but it's definitely growing, and it's a good time. Yeah. It's a great social, and people really get a chance to sort of meet folks in the neighborhood who have never been around before, and those relationships grow.
Okay. So there's talk of, obviously the nature of it is very small and intimate and kind of exclusives, but there's talk of kind of expanding that to more of them, so more people can participate. I think Ballard, if no one knows yet, it's coming its way. Capitol Hill, there's some conversation with friends on Capitol Hill to do something with them, because I think we're all very busy now. Our bandwidth is really getting spread. And so to organize time to go out and have dinner or put together some socials, folks just don't have that kind of time. Sure. So why not, let me do it. Let us put it together for you. Jump on board with us and we'll make it happen. And I guarantee you the events are well run and they're outstanding and they're a good time. Yeah, that's awesome. It sounds like a lot of fun. So hopefully I'll be able to jump on one of those here.
Oh, a couple, my brother. A couple for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now tell us a little bit more about the West Seattle Beer and Music Festival. I mean, that's this year will be the second annual. So you did the first one last year. Tell us about the origins of that.
Well, I have a beer problem. I just want to come to the forefront and say that. I just want to get that off the table. And I felt like I worked with the guys who did the Seattle International Beer Festival, Rick and his wife, and they did a phenomenal job. That's like the best beer festival in the world. But the one thing I loved about it was all these people come together and enjoy having a great social over beer. And I felt like, man, I want to do that someday. And I think West Seattle could be a great neighborhood and a community to do so. And I just felt at one point after time, I thought, this is it. Our time is now. And I said to my wife 2 years ago, I'm like, hey, let's do the beer fest next summer. And as crazy as it was, I started making phone calls and banging on doors in like September of 2017. And before I knew it, by January of 2018, we had a beer festival on our hands. And so very well, we had about 25 breweries last year, 60 beers. First year went really good. People had a great experience. It was a lot of fun. But now it's even grown a little bit. So the beast is out there. So luckily, the second annual is coming aboard. Alki Masonic Center, August 23rd, 24th this summer. Be a 2-day event. Tickets go on sale next week. Okay. So it's going to be really cool. We're also doing the Tacoma Pride Festival. That just got announced. Nice. We're going to be running their whole beer garden program. Okay. So our world is expanding in a good way. Yeah. I got to learn how to get some more sleep so I can make this all happen, but it's good. It's going really well.
Okay. Okay, so by the time this drops, we'll just announced and released ticket sales for
Yes,
that, so.
yes, and we're blessed this year to announce that the West Seattle Food Bank is our nonprofit,
Nice.
and then also Jump Pacific Northwest is our other nonprofit for the beer festival.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Awesome. For the people who went last year, what can they expect to be different this year?
Great question, Christian. A couple things that we took a lot of notes away from the folks and asked a lot of questions for people who went to just see, hey, how we're gonna get this better. And one thing we did right away is we made the event just 2 days instead of 3, so just gonna be Friday night and then all day Saturday. And the other thing is we got rid of sessions, so either you'll buy a ticket for Friday and be there all night, or you'll buy a ticket for Saturday and be there all day. Okay. That wasn't on the docket last year, and also we made it that you can buy a VIP pass to be there throughout the whole weekend. Because I found that people liked the short time, but they wanted to come back, and so I just made it that you could just hang out all day. Okay. We have great bands like Marmalade, Fly Moon Royalties coming aboard, Crystal Quiet. We're bringing in my rapper from New York, Mega Ran, and to just get that sort of soul funk spirit in the air. Mm-hmm. And then the breweries we got is a phenomenal list, and that's going to come out. I don't want to give up any hints, but we have some great names coming from all around the Northwest, and it's going to be a cool year this year.
Okay, that's exciting.
Yeah.
What's you got a lot of irons in the fire.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how you are able to accomplish so much, but I mean, what's kind of next for you? I mean, what's next
for me?
Yeah, I mean, after the summer, after these things would kind of die down as
No, it doesn't die down. No. In September we'll be launching, or come June we'll launch our Oktoberfest. We're gonna actually throw a huge Oktoberfest here in West Seattle.
Is that gonna be the first time?
That'll be our first annual Oktoberfest in September. We're actually finalizing the Winterfest. We're actually gonna throw off a cool Christmas party. We have a holiday party coming up for the Supper Club in December. Okay. And then we're also going to do a pub crawl tour. This is sort of a new thing that no one knows about yet, Christian. It's just between you and me. We're going to shoot. We're going to shoot it live today. Let's keep on the deal, okay? Right. But we're actually going to put together a series where we're going to go to different parts of the Northwest to taste beers. Okay. We're going to take groups of 12 people to 20 people, and we're going to go to Bellingham, Portland. We're going to go down to Columbia Valley, and we're going to taste beer. We're actually kicking off our first tasting. We're going to Suncadia and doing a wine tour in a couple of weeks with the Supper Club. Nice. And about 22 of us. We're going to taste 5 wineries, try a whole bunch of different foods, have a pizza party. Nice. And that's because it's connections, right? Sure. Just reaching out to people I know. Okay. But the pub crawl tour, that's going to happen this fall and this winter, which is going to be really cool. Okay. And really sort of for all those geeks who really want to hang out with breweries for the day, I'm going to set that up for them.
Okay. So the beer tour thing that you're talking about, is that going to be kind of a similar format as the Supper Club where you buy a ticket and then everything's included?
Everything that you always see is very similar. One price covers everything, and very similar because it makes it easy for everyone. The one thing I want to do, Christian, as much as I can, is that when they do events with us, I understand that it's pretty simple. Yeah. But the quality and the quantity of what we provide is really good. Yeah. I'm not here to take people's money and then just short them. That's just not me. I don't have that kind of time and patience. But what I want to do is really build on something cool. And I just have all these connections, so why not use it? Sure. I feel like I've been holding back, and now it's time for me to deliver it all out and let people just go, okay, let's do that. Sure. Because I think there's endless amounts, so if people want to do it, we can do it.
Right. Now, with stuff like this, obviously, you wouldn't be able to put it all together yourself. You're always kind of looking for partners and sponsors and that sort of thing. What does that look like if someone owns a business or wants to be involved either in sponsoring or even participating?
Good question. I mean, I was approached by a sunglasses group about the Rooftop series yesterday.
Makes sense.
Someone saw it on our website, and so they reached out to me through my email at joe@westsidefestivals, festivals.com, and they asked the question, how can we be a part of all the things you have going on? The one thing I have with all these festivals and events is there's a position for anybody. It just matters, like, what do you have, and then we figure it out. I don't say no. I'll throw options out there and ideas, but we're wide open. I mean, that's the thing, Christian. We deal in hospitality, so if it involves something where people can enjoy it by eating and drinking or holding their hand or something they can use a little later, that fits in our wheelhouse. I mean, outside of anything will work. Yeah. From a car to a winery to food to sunglasses to sports gear, it all works. It just matters if you feel like you want to jump involved. But we don't overcharge. We don't make it too expensive or make you think twice. We want both sides to win. Mm-hmm. So, whatever you want come get me. We'll work it out.
Okay. So emailing you would be the easiest way.
Yep. Joe@westsidefestivals.com.
Okay. And then, so I mean, obviously, you've got, kind of deep connections in a lot of the Seattle communities and whatnot. For you personally, like, let's say you take a step back here. Let's say you've got some friends, in from out of town, never been here. They're here for a weekend. Like, what do you do? Where do you take them?
What do I do? Oh, shoot, that could be dangerous. I mean, some of my friends don't tell me they're in town because they know better. I think it's just, 20 years ago, probably really dangerous. But I mean, nowadays, it's sort of like, what are we in the mood to get down with? I always find, like, I have friends of mine who are just beer guys, so I'll take them to a couple of breweries. I have my friends who are foodies, so I take them to a hot new restaurant, Juno Baby, or something that's just off the market. It just sort of matters who my friend is. Okay. Because it changes. Everybody in mine's different. I want to go. I got a guy who's a baseball geek. I got to get great tickets to a Manor game. So I think it comes down to the player.
Sure, that makes sense with the background hospitality. You gotta know your.
I gotta know my peeps. Yep. Gotta know my peeps.
I like that. Wish more people in real estate understood that. Less talking, more asking questions, and
right,
customizing their.
You have to. You have to.
So for this next section, it's kind of what I call a lightning round. Like to kind of go, fast and quick on these. In the past, what was holding you back from kind of doing these events, or being the business guy that you are at this point? I think, I don't know if it was really holding back. I was just so in depth of working with the restaurants and things I was doing. That was my focus. I mean, I always knew I wanted to do this, but it was all timing. Once I launched the beer festival, that was then the beginning of, okay, here comes a supper club. Okay, here comes and then now it's like, it's a little bit, really rolling. Somewhat, sure. I don't want to say too fast, but in a good way. Sure, you got some good momentum, yeah.
Yeah, I got some good momentum, and I feel like right now it's endless.
Yeah.
It's endless. I mean, someone called me today, asked if we could want to go to Willamette Valley for an event. I don't even know the person. Sure. They just heard about us. Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, that's what's going on.
You haven't really started promoting.
I haven't done a lick, man. Just hanging out with you today is probably my biggest thing.
Yeah. That's great. What would you say is some of the best advice you've ever received? Oh,
best advice, man. My dad said, hang around your babies when they're young. It's been the best advice I've ever got. Business-wise, I think it's, it's a learning process. An old boss of mine says you're going to have ups and downs in this whole thing, especially in the hospitality business. Is be patient, stay with what you love to do. He said that's the best thing he could tell me. Those two things I've always took to the house. Okay. Do it. Yeah, well, you got to do what you love, man, because if not, you just be old and cranky, sitting on the porch.
Sure. Yeah. What would you say is a personal habit that contributes to your success?
I don't believe in the word no or can't.
Okay.
I just don't believe in that. People tell me I can't do it. Even if it doesn't work out, I'm still going to take a shot. Sure. If the base is low and I'm swinging, the bat's always off my shoulder. Yeah. I sort of live by that. And I believe that nowadays anything is possible. Mm-hmm. Outside of getting tickets to the Oscars, anything is possible.
Good. How about movies?
Movies?
Favorite movie or favorite genre?
Oh, man. The last movie I saw that I really enjoyed Green Book. That was a great movie. Yeah. It had a lot of in-depth, a lot of storylines to it, which I really enjoyed, and great actors. Yeah, I've heard great things about that movie. It was a great movie. I definitely recommend it.
Okay. But if someone wants to get involved in any of these events, what's the best way to do that? I mean, I know each event kind of has its own social thing.
I think what they should do, and I've had a lot of people reaching out lately, which has been good, is I think hit me up, go to our website, or hit me on Facebook at Joe Jeannot or West Seattle Beer and Music Fest, and just drop a quick message. Hey, man, I'm interested in doing some stuff. Let's talk. I'm always open to it. I enjoy the conversations. What do you want to do? Sure. And I always say it to people, what do you want to do? Because I always have a spot for something. But hey, reach out. Okay. Reach out. Don't be scared. We can do a lot of cool stuff together.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I love what you're doing with, kind of bringing the community together, trying to provide, opportunities for people to get to know each other. And,
right.
Enjoy food and drink and make a difference at the same time.
You got to. I mean, we got bigger things coming, though. Yeah. I mean, next year we're going to try to take a shot at building a new community center. So that's on the docket. Okay. Not going to run for mayor yet because, that's not. I don't have the time for that yet.
Yeah, that'd be a full-time job.
I can't have that. I got too many things to do. But I mean, I think that, there's so much opportunity. Yeah. And then all these good people are getting together, like you and I and others who just want to keep building it. Yeah. So we're blessed.
I love it. I do feel blessed to be able to participate in this. So I'm looking forward to continuing to partner and
right.
Hopefully other people will reach out and we'll be able to make a bigger difference.
They're going to.
Yeah.
They're going to. This is great. This is awesome.
Awesome. Well, thanks for your time, Joe. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, my brother. You're the best.
All right.
You're the man. Thank you.
Thanks. That wraps up this week's episode. Make sure to check out our guest website, pay them a visit, and help spread the word about what they are doing. If you have any questions, know someone who should be a guest on here, or has a great story worth sharing, email me at christianharris@seatown.com. That's sea-town.com. I would also love it if you would go to iTunes and give us a review and a nice 5-star rating. We work hard to bring on great guests and provide exceptional content, and getting a review from you is one way to help the podcast rank well on iTunes so others can find and enjoy the show. You can also find out more about me, how my real estate brokerage is breaking the mold and making a difference in our Seattle communities, and other projects I'm working on by visiting seatown.com, sea-town.com. Thanks for listening. The music for our podcast is courtesy of The Fascination Movement. You can find their albums in the iTunes Store. You can also listen to more episodes and find all our show notes on our website at seatownpodcast.com. This has been a Seatown Media production.